Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, Ophiuchus, let's get into this, shall we? So, Ophiuchus, we're going to ask the question of kind of like what's the root idea and then how does that thought grow? So, we have Ace of Air. So, we have truth, we have judgment, Scorpio energy. Truth is, but he wants to reconcile. Six of Earth, they want equal give and take. And we have the Three of Wands, and they want this to persist into the future. Change the future, make the future something where it's, a future built on the collaboration. That's the truth of it. Now, this could be Ophiuchus who feels this way. This could be the other person who feels this way. This doesn't have to be about romance. This could be somebody who wants to just be a part of, um, say it's a career path, say it's a friendship, say it's a colleague, say it's a neighbor who wants to, have a really great relationship with Ophiuchus. It's all possible that it could be non-romantic. But now that we have the Knight of Wands, it's looking like this is somebody passionate for judgment once again, passionate to go ahead and be able to move forward, passionate to be able to go ahead and take a look at things and say, I want you back in my life, Ophiuchus, because you're my Ten of Cups, because you're my Ten of Pentacles. Holy smokes. This is somebody who is crazy about Ophiuchus. I don't know why there was ever a distance where they would need to reconcile with Ophiuchus when they are feeling this much love, this much desire to give. Everything here says that this person just wants to give to Ophiuchus. They know this without a doubt. And they could be a Scorpio, but this is like, they think Ophiuchus is the end all be all. They want something real. They want something serious. They want something long term. So of course, I gotta ask, why is there a need to reconcile? Why is there a need to reconcile? Meaning, like, why are they not already with Ophiuchus is what I'm asking. We have Empress, we have the Two of Cups. Anyway, we slice it, they say, because Ophiuchus is my Two of Cups, but I'm saying, why is there a need to reconcile? They're not telling me basically what the blockage was. They just keep insisting Ophiuchus is my person. Ophiuchus is my Two of Cups. Unless this says because they were already married to someone, even had a child with someone else, and yet they met Ophiuchus, and Ophiuchus is this person that they have this profound bond with. Tell me about the Empress. The Empress is upright, so the Empress is a wonderful character. Six of Swords. There is, I could read this differently. I could say they might have moved away from Ophiuchus, even knowing that Ophiuchus is the real deal. Maybe because they weren't ready for the real deal. We have the Lovers, though. Lovers is a card of choice. Ace of Wands. I'm going to say that this was a situation where this character was already in a connection with someone else. And then they met Ophiuchus. And the bond was something that they can't fight. They couldn't fight. They feel this kind of way about Ophiuchus. They would like to choose Ophiuchus as their partner. And in this case, normally I would say, well, a bond with an Empress would be the strongest. But in this case, it really is that the Two of Cups trumps even the Empress energy. This could be someone that they highly respect, care for a great deal. I mean, obviously, if this is a character who was married to an Empress, it's a high level commitment. They could have had a family with this person, but respecting someone and being madly in love with them and knowing that you're their forever person might be two different things. Something is different about the bond that they feel with Ophiuchus than with whomever a previous partner was. So it was at a place where they had to stay away from Ophiuchus, most likely, unless they were going to be able to move away from that high-level commitment. It was, in this case, a choice between lovers, in the sense that they loved them both. I don't mean, that sounds so like, oh, which lover do I want? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. That's not what I mean. I'm saying I think this is two completely different kinds of love that they felt. Respects, a bond, a long term commitment, but then this profound soul shaking love that they feel for Ophiuchus. And the lovers is a card of choice ultimately, but it's not a choice that can be made out of passion. It's a choice that has to be made. This is basically two amazing different people that they love in two different ways. And so to choose what is the one that I can't do without, essentially. Which, this again isn't to pit the two against each other, and yet that's exactly what it is. But it's not to say which one's not as good. It's more like this is two completely different types of connections, and I don't know what am I to do with these two completely different types of connections, especially like it would almost be better if one had been some karmic situation, but I don't think it was. So they moved away from Ophiuchus to possibly try to figure something out. I mean, they couldn't have been with Ophiuchus anyway if they have a high level commitment with someone else. Six of Cups. And yet the nostalgia, the pull, the meaning, that soulmate energy, that soul recognition was really, really profound. That is ultimately what is bringing them back to Ophiuchus to try to reconcile. They want Ophiuchus in their lifelong term. This is not somebody who's like, hey, do you think we could just have a fling on the side? That's not what this story is. They want the full on relationship, even though I will still say this card concerns me a little bit now. Tell me about the Knight of Wands. We have the King of Cups in the reverse, the High Priestess upright, the Higher Self. They are, because the Knight of Wands can race in and race out. They do want to come back in passionately and reconcile, but they want the long-term commitments. And this says if they're rushing back in passionately, it is because their higher self recognizes the way they behaved toward Ophiuchus was in a karmic fashion, right? They didn't come in solid, strong, and offering something huge. They came in and they know their higher self says, you messed this one up badly. They behaved badly toward Ophiuchus from what I can see. This is not at all the way they should have come forward. I think that's why they're kind of like racing back. The Knight of Wands is, I kind of feel like there's a frantic energy to them with that. Like they messed this up badly with Ophiuchus. They came across like Ophiuchus is karmic because they didn't give love. In fact, they withdrew love from Ophiuchus, even though they felt it. With that card of oneness and higher self, all of this says, I pulled away from a person that I have so much of a profound bond with. How am I going to get that bond back? And quickly, how do I explain that the bond was never gone? It's that the bond was so strong, but in this crisis moment of what do, I'm supposed to like pick basically between this high level commitment that preceded me even meeting Ophiuchus and then this thing that's throwing my brain, through the blender, trying to figure out what do I do about this. Again, it's like, which lever do I pick? But it wasn't to say that somehow that made Ophiuchus less important. It's actually, this is a tough predicament for the character to be in. And for a period of time, they didn't move forward at all. They didn't do anything. They withdrew and they did nothing. Why did they do nothing? There was no growth. There was nothing. 10 of Wands, 8 of Swords sideways. Because I think they weren't really stuck. And I think that's important to note. They were stuck in their own head because they felt immense guilt. guilt for the entire situation. And the guilt kept them in one spot. What do I do? Tell me about the Empress. Two of Pentacles, the Emperor. You know what's wild about this? She was already on the fence, juggling. Are they really my emperor? I mean, I know they're a great person, but are they really my emperor? They're an emperor. Are they my emperor? She either felt their guilt as indecisiveness, but I think I said, tell me about just the Empress, not about the Empress through their eyes, but about the Empress. And to me, it looks like I'm wondering if this Emperor Empress were kind of strong long-term commitment, but at the same time, strong long-term commitment that could have been based more in like friendship, business. Hey, we've built this legacy together. But I don't know that they have love for each other, but it could have been more along the lines of platonic friendship love. Is this a fiery, passionate person that I can't do without? Is this the person that I've really bonded to? It's somebody that I am in a bond with and I am equal to, and we respect each other. But is this my person that I really feel is the emperor of my lifetime? Or is it an emperor? I feel like the Empress cared a great deal about them, but was also on the fence a little bit about what is this? Why don't I feel more than like deep respect and platonic love for them? Probably because they completed their journey together. They're both wonderful individuals, but they are not the end all be all in this lifetime for them to continue to journey with. They already completed what they needed to do. They built an empire together, but there's more. See, justice. I think that the Empress knew this isn't quite right that I'm with them because I'm not 100% about being with them. You know what? Her subtle detachment or indecisiveness is so wonderful in this because it is allowing, at some point anyway, I think it's going to be the thing that allows them to disintegrate this relationship with tremendous grace, understanding, on fabulous terms. Because in fact, even though they are matched, they aren't matched. They didn't want to be together. Neither she with them nor they with her, because I don't know that she has another bond anywhere outside of this, but they certainly do. And the synchronicity card is here. It was, even though it seems like, oh my gosh, what a predicament, what terrible timing for them to have already met someone, been involved in a high level commitment, and then they meet Ophiuchus and that's their Two of Cups. And they can't be with their Two of Cups. That's not true. The synchronicity is actually perfect. It was at the same time that the parting of ways, it was mutually known but not spoken about, that the Emperor and Empress were actually ready to part ways from each other, even though I think it's going to be the Empress that brings this up. And I think it's going to be the perfect time. I don't think the Empress knows that they're madly in love with Ophiuchus, but they carried a lot of guilt and now they don't, because this connection is already happily being dissolved. And that is also why they are rushing forward without any more wasted time. Can they get Ophiuchus back? Because they feel like they really did Ophiuchus wrong in this. We have 5 of Cups. We have 9 of Wands. There's a lot to fix here. A lot. There's a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of tears falling, looking out the window. There's, with the 9 of Wands, wounded warrior energy. Ophiuchus could flat out feel like, what are you coming in to take from me now? Because there's a predatory energy on that. There's a lot to have to fix between themselves and Ophiuchus. They're willing to do it. They're as dedicated and long-lived as a tattoo. They're as loyal as a German Shepherd. They are 100% in this to work on this until Ophiuchus says, I trust you again, or fine, you can. We got the 3 of Swords in the reverse, until they heal the hurt that they caused Ophiuchus. This person is very determined to heal this with Ophiuchus. Very, very, very determined. Well, they would have to be in order to get this situation back. So good for them for being that dedicated. And I'm really glad to see that this could perhaps be, the right time and the right place at last. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.